In most of the videos I make on this channel, I talk about or review single-player games, but today I want to talk about multiplayer games, because while some of my favorite gaming experiences have definitely come from immersive story-based titles, there are a few things better than just sitting down on a couch with a couple of friends and whipping out the GameCube. Some of my fondest childhood memories are of playing video games. Most of my memories start around when I was 5, and there were probably a lot of great things I could have remembered, like family vacations, holidays, and just all-around useful information. But instead of remembering those, my stupid brain decided to ingrain the one time where me and my best friend were playing Sonic Adventure 2 and his little sister spilled Coke all over my GameCube. Oh, and don't forget the time when I visited Santa and he gave me the Game Boy Advance game I wanted for Christmas. 5-year-old me lost his fucking mind that day. He knew I wanted Sonic Pinball Party? I mostly grew up with Nintendo consoles, and the variety and creativity of local multiplayer games was incredible. You could go from a game like Super Smash Bros, where you're beating the shit out of your friends as Pikachu and Yoshi, to a game like Mario Party, where you're beating the shit out of your friends, but this time in real life. Kill my star one more fucking time, I dare you! We raced in Mario Kart, we fought in Mario Strikers, and we played City Trial and Kirby Air Ride for hours on end. This game mode is so good. Did anyone even play the actual racing mode? I mean, you know there was something special going on with video games when you were able to play as monkeys and little balls rolling down a ramp at 100 miles an hour, launch into the air, turn into a glider, fly through a bunch of rings, and then land yourself on a giant scoreboard for points. But if you miss, your adorable little monkey falls into the water and fucking drowns. This game changes people. And then I got a PS3 and discovered that there was even more awesome shit outside of just Nintendo. When online multiplayer was becoming more common and widespread, even though my friends and I didn't have Skype or Discord back in the day, we'd talk while playing Borderlands by calling each other on our family's home phones and putting them on speaker. What I'm getting at is that multiplayer games were fantastic. Hell, the coolest birthday party a kid could have other than laser tag was this thing called a fucking game truck. This truck would just show up at their house, and you went in and it had a bunch of lights and big TVs and Xbox 360s, and everybody got to play 16-player Halo 3 split screen, and it was the coolest shit ever. And then you got pizza and birthday cake afterwards. Man, those were the fucking glory days. Take me back. I could keep reminiscing and telling stories for a really long time, as local and online multiplayer games have given me so many great experiences over the years. And while I'm constantly searching for new games to share with friends online, I feel like it's becoming more and more difficult to find something that lasts. There are the occasional indie gems that pop up like Duck Games, Speedrunners, and Tricky Towers, but games like these tend to only be fun for short bursts, and then everyone gets burnt out and doesn't want to play them anymore. Sure, maybe it's just my nostalgia goggles, but there's gotta be some reason that every time I hang out with people in person, even though we have gaming computers and modern day consoles with the highest end graphics imaginable, we still hook up the GameCube and play Kirby Air Ride City Trial. You gotta go into the settings, you set that shit to 7 minutes, and you fucking play it. Who needs 4K graphics when you got 4-player split screen? Fuck, that joke was bad. Alexa, delete my channel. This video isn't meant to be a jab towards game developers or esports or anybody in particular, but it's instead just a way for me to express my thoughts on the way games are moving, most likely for the foreseeable future. And I think at its core, modern multiplayer gaming is about competitiveness and replayability. Think of some of the most popular modern multiplayer games over the past few years, and titles like League of Legends, Fortnite, PUBG, and Counter-Strike come to mind. These are games where people can pit their skill against other players, and the gameplay format is engaging and addictive. Strategic individual matches across various genres like fighting games, first-person shooters, and MOBAs have proven to be incredibly replayable and in turn generate more profit. Why develop a silly fun party game and sell it for a one-time price of $60 when you could constantly update a free or lower priced game that many players, myself included, will spend much larger amounts of money on? This format of game design is so accessible and profitable through cosmetic microtransactions and DLC that outside of indie developers or Nintendo, who isn't making the new Mario Party game on Switch online, even though they are now charging for the online service. What the fuck, guys? It feels like there just aren't as many interesting co-op or party-style multiplayer games anymore, whether it be local or online. I don't think games like CSGO or League of Legends aren't fun. If they weren't, I wouldn't play them. You can have a great time if you just screw around, but the difference between these games and the multiplayer games of old is that in more recent games, you're mostly just chasing the win. Sure, you may be gunning for the finish line in Mario Kart, but even in dead last, you can still have fun by grabbing a blue shell and maniacally throwing it at your best friend in first place.
How are you gonna stop me if I have a star?
Impossible. I must time this just right.
No way!
Here I come, motherfucker, and I win the game. Woo! But in modern games like League, it sucks to lose. Like this shit.
I mean, my.
I couldn't save you.
Yeah, sure. This shit is not fun. When I die in a modern game, I either have to start all over again like in a battle royale, or the enemy team gets stronger and I get punished. I have to end up focusing as hard as I can just to try and win the game, instead of being able to joke around, do stupid shit, and have fun with my friends the whole time. Competitive games have to be designed like this in order to make players feel accomplished, because while playing Mario Party is fun, I don't think people really feel impressed that you won in the video game equivalent of Candyland. That being said, if someone out there is making a highlight compilation of the greatest Mario Party outplays, feel free to include my double 10 roll. Yeah, I know, I'm kind of a big deal. Local multiplayer games like Kirby Air Ride and Mario Party have elements of randomness and a very low skill floor, allowing even inexperienced players to join in, learn the game, and have fun. But trying to get into or get back into a multiplayer game with complicated mechanics or a dedicated fan base is difficult. Oftentimes, the player base will become so skilled and be so focused on being the best that it's impossible to return to it after a hiatus without getting your ass kicked or yelled at until you just don't feel like playing anymore.
Hey Glaz, you wanna fucking do something?
Yeet.
God fucking damn it, dude.
You're useless.
Like, straight up, dude.
I think there are a few games that achieve a really good kind of balance between the two, with the obvious example being Super Smash Bros. While the game is mainly marketed as a party-style fighting game for everyone, it has a thriving competitive community. So what's my overall point? I don't think I can name one person that doesn't want to experience couch co-op or multiplayer like they used to. But since a majority of people's friends today are online, if game developers can find a way to make multiplayer games that are as enjoyable and replayable as the days of old, I'd love you forever. And I don't want to end this video on a pessimistic note, because there's still awesome games out there that are a blast to play with friends, and games that I'm looking forward to like Smash Ultimate and Lethal League Blaze. And I can also just play old GameCube games online with Dolphin and NetPlay, but don't tell Mr. Nintendo I said that. That's about it for this video, but before I go, I just want to let you all know that I have a Patreon that I'm going to start using and promoting more often, so if you want to support me and my inconsistent upload schedule, you can do that at patreon.com/yakkocmn. There's a link in the description. I got a couple cool rewards like a little Discord chat where I'm going to be posting previews from upcoming videos and the opportunity to get a shout out at the end of my videos. Thanks for your support and thanks for watching. I'm gonna go before Nintendo catches me using an emulator again.